Stay on it. Stay on it.
You dragged him. You would not.
I didn't drag. Stay on it. Till stop. Till stop. Can't hurt it.
We're going to draw behind.
Push, push, push. Draw to it or hit it. Let's draw to it. Yeah, little hot. Let it go, let it go. Got it curl. Yeah, got it curl. Let it go, let it go. I think it's gonna be okay. Little frosty early. There we go. Nice shot, Jack. Now this. Just this. How much did he see? Not much. Maybe a stop. I like drawing down to it. Drawing to it? Yeah. I like that way. Yeah.
One more foot, not an arm. You hit it. And then drop it.
Same shot. Yes, other side. All right, push. Red.
About the same.
straight. Gonna work, gonna work. Right, right.
Yes, Greg.
That's all goes. It's a double.
All right, run plan C. Push it out of the way. Push it out of the way. Push it out of the way. Push it. Push it. Push it. So give me like. What weight are we throwing?
Go, push, 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 push.
Well, thank you.
Sweep! Hard! Didn't make it. Don't let it go out. Watch it.
All right, up, 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 up. Be guard.
Yeah.
Like,
Go
four.
ahead and rub it out.
Nice shot, Liz. Nice good try.
Which handle would you like?
Sweep, sweep then. I'd like a 3 or 4. Okay, up now, up now. I think it's gonna be all right. Be real nice. Yep. Good job, Brian.
You want to come around the other side? I don't think it's.
One guy in there. Yeah. All the way hard. He's good. Be awesome. Be amazing. All right, up, up, up. Forward. Yeah. I'll take it. Swing.
If I yell plan B, it's because we're hitting this.
Hard.
Fine. That's for the sweeper.
Okay.
I don't mind another guard.
It's like back four, okay?
Yeah.
Nice shot.
All right, same thing. Last night. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, we just.
Want to draw to it? Heavy. Yeah. I want to
Back up, 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 up. Let it curl, let it curl.
This way.
Other way, Matt.
Yeah. Go, go, yeah. All right, up,
Hey, Jess, I like to push it as far across as we can.
You're calling the weights. I was like back 8. Up, up. That's not.
Kind of like the tap up.
Yeah.
Hi, Brian. I think about that same way.
All right. Show grass. This one. I can see half of it. Okay, go, 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 go. Right in, right in. Go, go, hard hand.
About normal. Gotta move a lot. Like, yeah, making Thursday. Yeah, give it a push. Where is it? Yep, 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 yep. Okay, up, up, up.
All right, welcome back. My name is Akai Siegel. Welcome to the live stream here for the Triangle Club Spiel 2025 edition. We got 4 games going on this beautiful Saturday in Durham, North Carolina. I'm going to be bringing you updates on the matchup. Over on Sheet A, we have Team Moran in red versus Team Scheck in yellow.
His normal threes.
Team Moran includes Pat Moran as skip, Carl Biltz as vice, Fred Lockinger as second, and Michelle Moran in the lead. Over on Team Scheck, Dan Scheck is the skip. Taylor Noskoff is vice. Dave Mittenson second, and Jeremy Swanberg taking the lead over there. Now picking up on this game already in progress. We're towards the end of end number 1. We can see yellow is shot with red second and yellow sitting third. Pat Moran in the hack, getting ready for his first stone. And red has hammer for this end, but there's still yellow still sitting in shot position with a number of guards on that center line. Carl Biltz holding that line. Looks like they want to hit on the yellow into the red and get a big promotion out of this. Will it curl in enough to make that contact? And they do. Red to yellow to red to yellow. Pushing the shot yellow into the back 8. But still in shot position. Yellow now sitting 1-2, opens up the middle quite a bit, gives them some space to work. Red now on the outside 12, sitting positions 3 and 4. Skip Dan Scheck on his way to the hack for his final rock of end number 1. They see that path around the guards to the button. And it looks like they want to put a stone on that line. A guard would be fine. They don't want to go too deep, or they, Pat Moran could follow that in. See if they can plug this line and prevent any access to the house for Moran's final stone. Over curling a bit, but getting a split on that center yellow. It does cut that angle, makes the shot a bit more difficult, but there is a draw available for Team Moran right here. Yellow sitting 2. Here is the hammer. They have to get around all of those yellow guards. But if they can get touching the forefoot to outcount both of those yellow rocks, they can pick up 1 and prevent the steal. Here comes the hammer. Lead in second, sweeping hard. They have to get around this guard and all the way into the house. Ooh. Curling too much, cracking on the guards. Not going to make it into the house. Bit of a sharp turn. I wonder if it picked on something, actually. Either way, that is curling. We have to deal with the ice in all its forms. Strong start from Team Scheck, able to pick up a steal of 2. And they will get the first rock for end number 2. Lead Jeremy Swanberg in the hack. Looking to put up the center guard. Sweepers staying close to it. Going to overcurl a little bit off the center line. Skip's taking a look at it, and they're fine with it. Pat Moran calling for the draw behind. Michelle Moran to deliver the first rock for Team Moran in end number 2. Wants to sit at the top of the forefoot, tucked behind that yellow guard. Looking to take an aggressive position in this end with hammer. Looks like it's past the guard, but does it have a little too much on it? Needs to settle. Gonna roll behind the tee and all the way into the back 8. It is behind the guard, but just a little deeper than expected. Allows for a lot of space for additional draws around that guard. Could potentially use that red rock as backing. And that appears to be the call. Lead Jeremy Swanberg. Delivering his second rock, wants to get behind the yellow. Tuck in behind the yellow. And if it's heavy, can sit on that back red. Stone is curling hard. Will it get by? It will not. Tips off the yellow guard. It's going to rest just in front of the house. Red looking to curl between the yellow rocks. Still a draw behind that front yellow. But wants to hit that port and get a second rock under cover. Carl Biltz sweeping hard. Gets past the guards. Again, a little bit heavy, gonna go past the tee. But red now sitting 2 under cover. But that's the risk of being behind the tee line this early on. Team Scheck can follow that same line, draw right on top of the red, and retake shot position. Second, Dave Mittenson, delivering his first stone of the end. And it's like they are sweeping it hard. To hold this line, got to get around that guard. Will it be enough? They got past the guard. They're trying to carry it into the house. And it's going to be a little bit light, sitting right next to that other top guard. Excellent sweeping, but not quite enough to get it all the way into the house. Pat Moran looking to use a different piece of ice, wants to come around the outside. Bit dangerous over on sheet A, taking that kind of ice closer to the edge of our ice sheet. tends to be a little bit trickier. It is also ice that they have not used much this game, so skips are still trying to feel it out.
Hey, Brian, let me take it back.
A little bit heavy. Will it stick around? Ah, just a little bit too much on that red rock. Not going to curl in, not going to stick around. Red still sitting 2. With all of those yellow guards on the left. Team Scheck also looking to make use of the right side of the ice. Yellow rock number 4. Sweeping hard to get around this guard. They get past the first one and the second. Curling in, resting beautifully against the shot red rocks. An excellent draw. Team Scheck taking shot position behind the guards and with red backing, making it a very difficult stone to remove. Pat Moran changing strategies. He knows he has to open up the middle now. Those guards are not his friends. Fred Lockinger delivers a heavy throw, looking to open up the middle of this house. Gets contact, removing 1 yellow. But unfortunately, there's still coverage on both sides of the center line. Didn't quite get the separation they were looking for. Dan Scheck sees an opportunity. He doesn't have hammer, but he has shot rock in a defensive position, and he wants to tighten up that defense, prevent a possible draw down the left side. So if he wants to add more guards to the front of the house. The stone looks like it's over curling quite a bit. Gonna hit the red. Will it tip it all the way into the house? Yes, it will. Not into shot position, but the top of the 12. Doesn't change the math at the moment, but if Team Moran could find a way to dislodge that shot yellow rock, could potentially become a scoring stone. Carl Biltz in the hack. Again, trying to draw down the outside. Sweepers going hard. They want to make sure this stone curls in enough. It has enough momentum on it to dislodge that shot yellow. Going to come right up to it. Just a little bit in front, not in shot position. But the fact that those stones are touching is of concern to Dan Scheck. You can see he's immediately calling for the guard in front of that red rock. That is a dangerous rock. If red could throw a second shot on the red, they could immediately dislodge the yellow and be sitting 4. So Dan Scheck calling for the guard on the right side. doing everything they can to protect that shot yellow.
Okay.
And a very nice result. Very nice indeed. Covers that number 5 for Red Rock from an immediate hit.
The one they just threw.
Skip Pat Moran looking at the zones, looking at the angles.
Get your carry, get in there.
Looks like he is considering a run back on that yellow guard, running that into the shot stones. A difficult shot indeed, but he has to do something to dislodge the shot yellow. Vice Carl Biltz in the hack for his second rock.
Yeah, go, Thomas, go.
This is a very precise shot. And it gets by, ooh, just scrapes by every single stone in the house, not making any contact. An unfortunate miss. Stone going that fast, sweeping will have very little effect on it. A lucky break for Team Scheck, and they are going to continue to guard. They already have a lead, just looking for a steal in this situation. They're worried about more high velocity stones coming down the right side of the sheet. Dan Scheck delivering his first stone. Sweepers are on it right away. Does not have a lot on it. They have to go hard if they want to get this stone into play. They gotta go, they gotta go. Oh, not quite enough. Gonna hog that stone. Well, with the state of the board unchanged, after those last 2 stones, Skip Pat Moran gets a chance at this run back. And a difficult shot. Want to hit it almost straight on the nose to make sure that it runs back and makes contact with the red, which will make contact with the shot yellow. Looking for a very heavy throw here from Pat Moran. Fred Lockinger on that, sweeping hard, wants to hold that line. Has to get around the guard, and he does not. Clips off that front yellow, taking both stones out of play. Could not hold that line. It was just a little bit too narrow. Again, on a very difficult shot. Final yellow rock in end number 2. And sticking with their strategy ever since getting that yellow rock into shot position, Dan Scheck wants to keep with the guards.
It doesn't work out well, both.
So will he be able to put a stone up in position to prevent this run back? Team Moran has not been able to pull it off, but they do have the hammer, and they will have final say in the matter. Sweepers don't need to Just escorting this stone down the ice. And coming to rest right next to that other yellow guard. It's a very good position. It really prevents the run back entirely. There's no way to hit that stone square to run it back into the shot yellow. So instead, Team Moran looking at the opposite side of the ice entirely, going for this draw. So they need to draw around all of the yellow and red guards on the left side, and they just want to get a piece of the button. Touching the button at all will be, that stone will be in scoring position, and they'll be able to pick up their one and prevent the steal. Sweeper staying close. Want to make sure it gets around these guards. And then needs to come to a rest. Goes a little bit heavy, but it does get a sliver of the button. Pat Moran with a beautiful draw, taking advantage of having the hammer to pick up 1 point and prevent Team Scheck from stealing that end away. Team Moran on the board. 1. Team Scheck in the lead with 2 after 2 ends. Gearing up for end number 3, Michelle Moran in the hack, going to start us off. Looking for a classic center guard start. Is a strong position for a team on the defensive. Takes control of the center line, and also gives a place to hide a stone behind. Dan Scheck looking for the corner guard. Having hammer, he prefers the center of the house to be more open, but still a corner guard gives him, a stone in the free guard zone and another place for him to put some stones on the sides of the house while being undercover. Sweepers going hard on this one. They want to carry it all the way across the center and get as tight on the house as they can. Going to be about a 2 guard. Excellent sweeping. Pat Moran calling for the draw behind. Wants to use that same line as Michelle's first rock with a little bit more weight on it to sail into the house right on that center line. Sweepers escorting this stone down. They want to make sure it gets around the guard. As soon as it does, they're going to come off. Ooh, a little bit of a tick on the guard instead. Couldn't quite hold it steady. And they end up with a split guard on both sides of the center line. Not a bad result, but nothing in the house. Jeffrey Swanberg setting up for his second rock in end number 3. Looking to draw down the left side. Plenty of guards to tuck behind. That stone starting to curl in, but it looks like it's on the red guard. A little bit of contact, but still nothing in the house.
I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think it's okay.
Fred locking her in the hack. Wants to draw through this port now that we have between the yellow and red rocks over on the left side. Plenty of room in the house. Once you get in, you will be well under cover. Sweepers going hard on this to hold that line. And they get through the port and into the house. Plenty of weight still on that stone. Going to hang out all the way in the back 12. Still gives red control of the house, at least for now. That port is still there. And Team Scheck looking to capitalize on it. Similar to the previous end, if you can come through that port, you'd have that red rock can now serve as a bit of backing to keep the yellow rock in play if it is heavy. Ideally, they want this to come through the port and sit in front of the tee line. Stone starting to curl. Will it get the port? It looks like it might tick off the yellow. And it does a little bit. Stays there in front. Clogging up that port. There's no longer space to draw through. But a plus side of having center red guards is that Team Moran can play the raise. Looking to make clean contact with that left red guard. Raise it up into the house while the shooter stays in guard position.
Can we get through? Maybe? All right, try that.
Sweeper staying close. This stone has to roll over. Hanging a little bit wide. It's gonna make just a little bit of contact. It will raise the red, but did not hit it cleanly. And does not put another rock into the house.
Perfect. Oh, wow.
Just an immense number of guards in front of the house right now. And Danchak calling for the peel, wants to open up this house, remove some of these red guards, and give themselves some room to work with. And there's the hit on the red, yellow peeling off, and red removed. So now we have a much wider port to work with. Pat Moran says no thank you. Calls for that center guard to plug that hole. Carl Biltz delivering his first rock of the end. Being in the house is fine in this situation as long as it plugs that hole. They could bite the 12 and still be a counting rock. It's not going to, but it's going to sit beautifully in between the other guards. 7 guards covering the front of this house.
Yep, that's a skip by Mike right there. Saw him out.
Scheck calling for some heat. Wants to displace as many of these guards as possible. Ooh. Gets a hit on the center red, almost runs all the way back to the shot red. And because it hit that stone cleanly, there's still no port. However, it does give them a yellow rock in the center for a potential raise. More guards coming from Team Moran. Has shot position and just wants to flood the board with an impassable wall of stones. Red finally starting to curl. Gonna get the raise on the red. Very nice result. Half of the top 12 is in scoring position. And an additional rock preventing access to the house. Very good result for Team Moran. Vice Taylor Noskoff in the hack. Looking for a raise on one of those outside yellows. Can get a nice angle raise into the house. Gets the contact. And a beautiful, beautiful raise. Fist bumps all around on that one. A beautiful raise on the yellow, taking shot position by getting just a sliver of the top forefoot beneath all these guards. Pat Moran looking for the run back takeout. Wants to hit that red guard into the yellow. Ideally clearing that yellow and the red retaking shot position, which would let them be sitting 3. Not an easy shot, but let us see if Skip Pat Moran can make it happen. Michelle Moran sweeping. Wants to get good contact. There's the hit. Ooh, the angle is not quite there. Makes contact with the intended stone. Does not have the angle to run it back into the shot yellow. It does open up a line to the shot rock, however. So still a valuable result. Team Scheck contemplating where they want to put this guard now that they have control of the house. Scheck looking for a guard here to protect their shot rock. And then hopefully with the hammer, they can make something else happen to pick up a second point. But for now, it is critical to protect that shot yellow.
Just back 4.
Sweepers going hard on this one. They've got to get it all the way over. Word, it's a little bit light. Coming into position now. Looks very nice. Going to settle right in that port. A beautiful, beautiful guard from Skip Danchek.
I love that.
The wall of guards remains. It just keeps getting bigger the more and more stones are put into position. Final rock from Team Moran here. They're taking a minute to discuss their options. They are sitting 2 and 3 if they can somehow dislodge that shot yellow. They're looking at the angles. Yellow has the center, so they can't do a direct run back, but they do have potential angle raises with the Reds.
Top of the house.
Another consideration is simply to allow Team Scheck to take one, and they will retake hammer in end number 4.
Right, the other side.
All the way in the back.
Pat Moran calling for an audible from the hack. And he is going for the run back. He likes the angle, hitting this right side red guard. Again, a difficult shot, but potentially puts them sitting 3. Here comes that final rock from Team Moran, end number 3. Will the angles be in their favor this time around? There's the hit. And once again, coasting by, not able to get contact on the shot yellow. Difficult shots. But with so many guards in play, it is still difficult right now for Team Scheck to pick up a second point, even with the hammer. There are still lots and lots of guards. Looks like they're going to try and use the space just created by the removal of that red guard to try and sneak into the house.
Up. I think it's okay.
Nice line, though.
Yep. Good line, Jess.
All right, hammer rock for Team Scheck. Needs to hit this port. Oh, excuse me, no, they're coming way around the outside. Just want to get a piece of the 8-foot. But a little bit heavy. Not going to stick around. Yellow will pick up their 1 and take a 3-1 lead after 3 ends. In case you are just joining us, welcome to the 2025 Triangle Curling Club Spiel. My name is Akai Siegel, and I am happy to be here bringing you live coverage of all the curling excitement happening today. Day number 3 of this 4-day event, celebrating all of the fantastic curlers that we have here in the Triangle region. If you are on our Triangle Curling live streams, we have 3 of them running on YouTube. 1 covers the full suite of games all at once, and then we have breakout streams for sheets A, B, And another one for sheets C and D. There's only one of me in the booth, so I'm only going to be able to cover one of these games for you. And for that, we are focusing on sheet A, Team Moran versus Team Scheck. Feel free to use any of the live streams you want so that you can follow your favorite curlers.
So go, 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 go!
Getting end number 4 started with an off-center guard from Team Scheck. Team Moran trailing 2 points, but has hammer. Wants to take early control of the house. Sweepers going hard. They got to get around this guard, and they want a piece of the house. It's not going to quite have enough for that.
That's the same shot. Try to be heavy because we haven't thrown out here, Megan. Nick's our guard. Back eight's okay. I'm okay with that. Split them. You got hammer.
Yeah, hold that in.
Dan Scheck calling for another guard. Wants to cover the left side of the center line. Bit of a flicker of the lights, but nothing to worry about. And Team Scheck gets that guard they're looking for. Michelle Moran in the hack, looking to deliver her second rock. Wants to come all the way around the outside and tuck in behind the guards. Wants to come down this side on the off chance that it is narrow, potentially could tap up the red. This stone is looking quite wide and pretty heavy. Needs to slow down if it's going to stick around in the house at all. It might even be out of play, and it is a bit too heavy to stick around. Second, Dave Mittenson, set to deliver his first rock of end number 4. And wants to draw behind the guards. Trying to hold this stone to get around the guard. I'm not sure it's going to make it. Going to get that little bit of contact and widen the ever-growing field of guards. I'm getting deja vu for end number 3 here, where we had 8-9 guards in play. Whoever can get into position in the house first will have a clear advantage for the remainder of the end. Second, Fred Lockinger delivers his first stone on the right side. Wants to curl around these guards and stick around. Well, he gets around the guards and comes to a rest just on the tee line. Very nicely done. Almost entirely in the 4-foot. Under cover of that wall of guards that is slowly forming. Team Scheck looking to mirror this throw. Can Mittenson put a little bit more on this one and get around the guard he just threw? Sweepers going on it hard. They feel like it's a little light. Stone's starting to curl in. They might be able to get the tap up. It does not have a lot of momentum on it. Just going to hit the guard and get a little separation. Opens up space in the middle to curl around the center guards. Pat Moran looking to take advantage of that one guard now being slightly tucked behind the other. He wants to draw behind them both. Fred delivered a beautiful draw in his first stone. Can he do it again? Has to hit this port and get around the yellows. And it just barely sneaks past those yellows, gets into the top of the 12-foot. Not fully covered, but gets a piece of the house and covers that line. Very nice result. Vice Taylor Noskoff trying to deliver a draw down the right side. Wants to sit on top of the shot red. It's not going to curl quite enough. And we'll sit behind it instead. Just a bit heavy.
Yes, sweep! Hard all the way! Hard!
Seeing some potential vulnerability on the right side. Pat Moran wants to put a stone of his own on that line. Indicating that he wants to be in the top 8-foot. Vice Carl Biltz to deliver his first stone, event number 4.
Get a fourth one.
This stone needs to curl a lot if it's going to be in that position. Does not want to come off the line, off the wall, I should say. And is going to remain in play way on the back line. Skip's got to be careful not to trip over that one. And Team Scheck with another opportunity to draw down this right side. Sweeping hard to hold this line, wants to get around the guards, but it's over curling. I'm gonna crack on that front yellow.
I don't want to hit center line and break.
Lucky result for Team Moran, shoving that yellow out into guard position on the right side.
Get it by. Come on. Yes. Stay with the Liz. All the way, Liz.
Team Moran looking on the left, wants to draw in through the port. A raise on the red would also be a good result if he can knock it up to outcount the yellow in the back 8. Makes contact, but doesn't raise it enough to be in second position. Team Scheck deliberating their angle of approach. And Skip Danchek slides over into the hack. A lot of ice for this draw. It's possible to hit that very narrow port between the reds. Is it on target? Wants to get right down the middle and get as hard as they can. Waited for the very, very last moment to sweep that rock, but it snuck through those red rocks and gets all the way to the front of the forefoot. A very precise zone from Danchek. Which one is shot? From this angle, it looks like the yellow has an edge. But if Team Scheck was able to put the stone there, then that means Team Moran is able to get themselves to it as well. Wants to come a little bit heavier at it through that port.
One cleaner. Clean.
Another difficult shot for Team Moran as we wrap up end number 4. That stone is creeping in. Will it get through the port? It doesn't quite have enough. And is going to stay in the front 12. It's also slightly in front of that center red for a potential jam if they go for the run back. Last rock for yellow in end number 4. Yellow in shot position, looking for the steal. And they just want to guard these reds and prevent any run back shenanigans.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
They want this stone to keep curling over, cover as much as it can of this port. It's not going to quite cover those reds as much as they wanted it to. It does make that line, that port between the yellows much narrower. Team Moran in a tight spot for this hammer rock.
Hit that, maybe it's front to back.
Skip Pat Moran and vice skip Carl Biltz looking at the state of the board, talking through the geometry to see what they can do. Yellow sitting 1, red sitting 2, yellow 3, and then red sitting 4, 5, and 6. from outside that front red.
Okay, go, 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 go.
Looking to raise something into scoring position. Michelle Moran sweeping. Does not look like it's going to make it. Coming much too far center and cracking on the guards. And it looks like the vice skips have decided to measure these two stones to determine exactly who is shot. It is the responsibility of the vice skips at the end of each end to determine the score. If there is ever a disparity or they cannot decide, we do have a couple different measuring devices that we can use. One is laser-based, which we saw just now. And they determined that the yellow was indeed closer. They officially moved that stone closer to the button so that all could see. And that means yellow will throw the first rock in end number 5. A tight game, yellow able to slowly increase their lead. Now 4-1, halfway through this game. And Jeremy Swanberg will lead us off. In end number 5.
Try again, Tony. Just a little more weight.
Pretty low off-center guard for yellow. Red trying to bring this one in, but it's a light as well. Just going to tap up the yellow guard. Second yellow for the end. They want to bring this all the way over in the house and behind cover. And it's going to get there. It's going to get all the way across the center line. Gets into the top 12. Mostly covered behind the guards, but not completely.
What weight you want?
Most of the time, leads are given draws and guards. But Michelle Moran is going to throw the hit. Not going to get around the guards. Going to hit red to yellow. That yellow coming all the way up. And not quite a biter. There's potential for it to hang on to get a teeny tiny little bit of the outside 12, but it looks like it is just out counting. Dave Mittenson in the hack. Looking for his first stone of the end. Yellow sitting with 1. But this could potentially tuck behind that and put them sitting 2. Stone quite light. It may not get past the guards. And just going to end tucking in between the 2 reds. Does eliminate the option of going for the peel on that center yellow, on the shot yellow, excuse me. Team Moran going for the draw instead. Still plenty of house to take control over. And it gets around the shot yellow, curls right to the button, a little bit past. But a very nice draw, taking over control of the house, but just past T-line. There is potential here. If Dave Mittenson can bring that exact same draw, it will sit frozen on the button and be very, very difficult to remove. Sweepers going hard. They want to make sure they get around the guards. Will it curl enough to get to the button? It is looking good. It is past the guards. Sweepers are trying to bring it in. An excellent result, not in shot position, but takes position at the front of the forefoot. Ooh, looking for a hack weight hit on that red. Wants to hit it far enough on the left. That it peels off to the side. Oh, nope, going for a heavier hit. Again, this hit on the yellow, it cannot run straight back. Otherwise, it will jam on the shot red. Has to hit it at an angle to clear it off to the side. Ooh, a little bit narrow from Fred Lockinger hitting the yellow guard. Does open up the middle, makes it a little bit easier for another potential hit. Vice, Taylor Noskoff in the hack. Wants to raise this yellow right onto the button. Sweeper's trying to hold this line. It has to get around the front yellow, but it's going to make contact. And that'll slow it down, settling in the top 12. Yellow sitting positions 2, 3, and 4, but red just behind the tee, still shot. Big risk of runbacks. Pat Moran looking to dissuade that with a guard. Wants to be left side of the center line. Sweepers don't need to do much with that one. It is going to come and settle right in front of the house in a very nice position. It makes it very difficult to run any of those yellows back into the shot red. Scheck looking for some way to get into the house. He sees so many of his other yellows as potential scoring opportunities. But that red in the back is very hard to reach. Decides to come around on the right side.
Yeah, I think if you throw that same shot, then we sit right here, and they're going to draw to it for one. Right? I think the play here is to give them one. So, anyway.
Dave and Jeremy sweeping this hard. Taylor himself sweeping his own rock. Trying to carry it as far as he can. It's going to crack on that very front red. And ends up covering that line. Might make it more difficult for them to come down the right side in the future. Team Moran looking to take advantage of that recently played yellow, get around it. Stone is a little bit too heavy though. Going to sail on through the house. Four rocks left to go in end number 5. Here at the Triangle Curling 2025 Club Spiel. Teams Moran and Scheck battling it out in what is turning out to be a very guard-heavy match between these two skips.
Beautiful.
Wants to draw wide around the left side. And if you can hug those stones and get all the way to the button, can potentially take shot position away from red. A very difficult draw. Sweepers on this one early. Do they have enough muscle to carry this stone all the way in? Not quite going to get there. But it does cover the left side. Now, very difficult for Team Moran to draw a second rock into scoring position. And if you are red, you just need to be half of the forefoot on your next rock to potentially pick up some more points. They're down by 3 with hammer in this end. So whatever they can do to pick up an extra point or 2 would be huge in their comeback. Pat Moran delivering his first rock of the end. Wants to get around the guard and settle. Looking a little bit hot. And yep, not going to stick around. Red still sitting 1. That stone has not budged since it was placed earlier this end. One last yellow rock to go. Is there anything they can do to dislodge this yellow? It looks like they just want to cover that line that Team Moran wants to use to potentially pick up their second point. Not a bad result if you can hold the team with hammer to 1. Allows you to pick up hammer advantage in the following end. And if so, Team Scheck would maintain the lead. There's this last yellow rock hanging out wide. It's got a starting to curl in.
And same way. You got this.
And comes to rest just outside the forefoot.
Still okay.
Pat Moran with his last rock here. Was a little bit heavy before. Now he has that yellow. If he can get around and hit that yellow on the inside, could potentially roll in for a second point.
It's your wife. I take it back.
Let's see what he can do. Hammer rock, ended number 5. It is around the guard. Now the stone has to curl hard if it's going to get all the way in. Not quite enough. Going to tick off the outside of the yellow. Not enough to push it in, but not enough for the red to be counting for a second point. Team Moran picks up just one. Narrows that gap. Score of 4-2 after 5 ends.
Feel like a center guard.
If you're just joining us, thank you so much for spending some of this beautiful Saturday here with us here at the Triangle Curling Club. It is our 2025 Club Spiel. And we have the finest curlers from all over the Triangle playing throughout this 4-day event, looking for the title of the best curlers in Durham, North Carolina. My name is Akai Siegel, and I am bringing you commentary on this exciting match between Team Moran and Team Scheck. After 5 ends, Team Scheck able to take a 4-2 lead, but it is still anyone's game. Center guard from Team Moran, and then the corner guard for Team Scheck going a bit deep. Gets all the way past the tee. Not quite a guard at all. Pat Moran unfazed by that yellow in the house. He wants protected position. He wants this red rock to be tucked behind his red guard. Sweeper's staying close. Want to make sure it gets past the guard. And it does.
No. Just let it go. The handles are on.
One inside.
Very, very nice from Michelle Moran. Drawing behind her own guard, taking shot position on the center line.
Same shot.
Danchek going for a bit of a reverse. Instead of throwing the guard draw, is going for the draw then guard. Wants to protect that yellow rock in the house. It's not shot, but he wants it to stick around. Sweeper's going hard on this one. They got to get it all the way over the hog and want to get coverage for that yellow rock. Want to bring it over as far as they can. And very, very good sweeping. does give some protection to that yellow. The yellow can't be hit, but they are looking to draw to it. Wants to freeze up against that yellow. Fred Lockinger's first stone wants to hit this port between the guards and then rest on the yellow. He got the port. And gets the freeze. Very beautiful, beautiful shot from Fred Lockinger, playing second position on Team Moran. Through the port, frozen on that yellow. Red sitting 2. Dave Mittenson in the hack for Team Scheck, wants to peel away this center red guard and open up the house. Want to hold this one steady, want to get clean contact on the red, and they do. Both stones peeling away. Good hit from Dave Mittenson. And with the shot rock now fully exposed, Team Moran wants to replace that guard. Sweeper's going on it. They want to hold this line. Looks like it might overcurl. Sweeper's trying to keep it steady. They want it to cover that center line. Going to overcurl though, and leave that shot red exposed. Wasting no time calling for the hit. Second, Dave Mittenson in the hack. Wants to come right down that center line and get a clean hit on this red while sticking around and taking shot position away from Team Moran. Sweeping hard to hold that line, past the guard, gets the hit. Yellow rolling to the side just a bit. Actually rolling a bit too far. Red will still be shot position with that frozen red. Good hit and good result for Team Scheck. Still plenty of open house remains. Pat Moran calling for the draw, wants to get behind the guard. Sweepers going hard on this one. They've got to get all the way into the 8-foot. No, it's not going to make it. It's going to be front of the house, center guard position. Could potentially raise that up later on.
If it's deep, bring it.
The frozen red rock is still in shot position, though. Wanting a freeze for a freeze. Vice skip Taylor Noskov delivering his first stone. Wants to freeze on the frozen red. Has to weave through the guards. Looks like it's going to make contact with the center red, though, and get tipped up. Not enough to be in scoring position, but it will knock it into the house. I didn't see exactly where Pat indicated he wanted this stone. Looks like he could potentially raise that red. Yep. Will this stone have enough to push that red rock up into the further into the house? It's going to make contact. A little bit of a hit. Hits it off center. Again, tapping it up ever so slightly. Not quite into scoring position. Team Moran still wants to maintain control over the front of the house. Doesn't want anything too deep. Still has raise options on both of those top reds in the 12-foot. Taylor Noskoff back in the hack. Looking for direction from his fearless skip. The front of this house has a lot of coverage, and they are going for the hit. They want to peel away these front reds. One would be great, both would be better, and open up the house. Can Taylor bring enough heat to move these red rocks? Gets one. Nice and clean.
I think that's our best protection for them possible. Whoa.
And that removes one possible raise option for Team Moran. Pat Moran heading into the hack.
Where is it?
Looks like he wants to draw through this yellow port on the right side and just tuck behind the guards. If he's narrow, he could risk raising that yellow. Can he get the T-line draw? Ooh, he is narrow. Cracking on that front red. Not going to change the board very much. Still in shot position, just quite a bit narrow. Team Scheck doing the math. How are they going to get into the house? They have raise options. They have draw options. And it looks like they are also opting for the right side draw. Have to get past the guards. But there is still lots of room in the middle to take shot position from this frozen red that has been frozen for quite some time. Pat Moran kicking out of the house, out of the hack, excuse me. Has had very good weight control this game. Will it get around? No. Again, another rock. Too narrow. Cracking on the guards. Neither team able to get this draw on the right side. Team Moran in shot position, but does not have the hammer. They're going to do a defensive play. They want to prevent the raise on that yellow rock. and just make it as difficult as possible for Pat Moran to sneak a stone in to take control of this house. Just looking to put a left side guard into position between those front yellows. Stone might be curling a bit too much. Coming all the way center. It does not cover the yellow as intended. Seeing quite a lot of curl in the ice today. Even so, a very difficult position for Team Scheck if they want to score this end. Red has been frozen in shot position for quite a long time. The only way they see it is to draw down the right. Both teams have been having difficulty with this draw, this end. But there is a path. It's just not easy. Still, does not need to get to the button, just needs to get all the way to the forefoot. Not even. Getting most of the 8-foot would do it. Here it is, that final rock for end number 6.
There you go. Hard line.
Sweeping hard for line, has to get around the guards. It's on the red, but does not have enough to make a difference. And Team Moran with the steal. And that puts them behind by just a single point going into end number 7. A very, very tight match. Team Moran will be down by 1, but Team Scheck up by 1 with the hammer in potentially the final end of this match. We have had some very complicated houses, which have necessitated some additional deliberations. May not have time to get a full 8, but that's okay. First stone from Team Moran coming into the top 12. And yes, it looks like Dan Scheck believes this will be the final end. And he is looking to play the takeout game. That means he does not want a single red rock to be in play. Because if he can keep the red rocks out of play, there is no way he can lose. Unfortunately, that first takeout sailing a little wide. Lucky break for Team Moran. With the free guard rule, the first rocks thrown each end, as long as they are guards, cannot be removed from play. But as that first rock rolled into the house, it was available for a hit that did not happen. Looking for the guard here. And it's going to over curl slightly, still covers most of the shot red. Team Moran needs to get a protected stone if they're going to steal one more and tie this game. Second stone from Jeremy Swanberg for yellow. It's not going to get around these stones. Going to get a little bit of separation on the guards, covering that shot red nicely. Shot red still way up in the 12 foot. There's a lot of house to work with here. Fred Lockyer sliding out of the hack.
I like hitting this one out here.
Wants to take position on the left side of the 12 foot.
Back line.
Not, well, all right, not in the house, but still in the position that they're looking for. Covering the other side of the center line.
All the way hard. Hard.
Again, Team Moran trying to build some defense and then get a stone in scoring position. So all of these guards are a benefit to Team Moran. Dan Scheck does not like this defensive play. He wants to make some space, calling for some heat to dislodge some of these reds. Going to dislodge his yellow instead, but peeling away guards is a benefit for Team Scheck in this situation. He wants a wide open house so that his hammer can be a clean draw to the button. Team Moran still with plenty of guards in play, looking to draw this next rock in. A guard is good, a raise is good. Getting a little bit of a tap. 2 stones now in the house. Again, cluttering up the front of the house there for Team Moran, still with all of their stones in play. A little bit hard to see from this angle. There is one yellow off to the right. Dave Mittenson to deliver. Again, looking to bring some heat and get some of these reds out of play. Strong sweeping, gets the hit. One red sailing out, another crossing over. Still 2 reds in the top 12. Still plenty of coverage in front of the house. Does open up the left side a little bit more. Carl Biltz looking to take advantage of that space, wants to fill that gap and be under cover. A little bit heavy. Going to stick around in the back of the house. Red now sitting 3. But that line to the button is open. A little bit heavy from Carl. Wanted to take position in the top 12. Got the back 12 instead. Still a difficult spot for Team Scheck. They have the hammer, but nothing in the house. Looking for a hit on the yellow to dislodge the red. Can Noskov do it? There's the hit. But it hits it a little bit too wide. It runs the yellow through the back. and shoves the red a little bit further into the house, not changing the board very much. Carl Biltz looking to deliver a rock in that top 12 in scoring position and covering that line. Has to sweep around this guard though. It's on the yellow. It's on the yellow. They're gonna call off the sweeps. They do not want to shove that yellow into the house. Ends up with a stone that does cover the yellow raise, but it does not prevent the draw.
I think we have to guard this.
Taylor Noskov in the hack, asking for a little bit more ice. He wants to make sure he gets around those guards and tucks into the house as close to the button as possible. Whoever can get this draw first will be at a critical advantage this late in the game. Sweepers are on it hard. They want to make sure they get around this guard. They've got past the guard, but does it have a little too much on it? It's coming into the house. And will settle on the button. A beautiful, beautiful draw from Taylor Noskov on Team Scheck, taking control of the house at this pivotal moment. Pat Moran in the hack. There is quite a bit of separation between the shot rock and the guards. Looking for about a hack weight hit. Enough to move that yellow rock back, but it also has to curl around these guards. Difficult weight control in this situation. It's past the guards. Will it curl in enough to get the hit? There it is. Very, very nice result. Does move that yellow back. Red retakes shot position. But it doesn't move the yellow enough. That was very difficult to move that yellow out of the house. Red sitting 1, yellow sitting 2, red 3, 4, and 5. Skip Dan Scheck in the hack. Again, looking to control this draw. Wants to follow the example set by his vice and get right on that button. Sweeper's trying to keep this stone off the guards. It is past the first one, but clips off the next yellow. Does not get into the house. And critically blocking that line to the button that both teams have been trying to take advantage of. Red sitting 1. Final stone from Pat Moran in end number 7. Wants to come wide on the left side. To protect their shot rock, or potentially raise that red into scoring position. Curling hard and going to settle right in front of the yellow. Hammer rock. End number 7. Red sitting positions 1, 3, 4, and 5. Yellow sitting position number 2. A single point will clinch it. Generally, teams need 15 minutes per end, so it's unlikely that they will be able to play their 8th end. Both teams trying to play quickly. Final rock for the end. Wants to raise their yellow into a scoring position. Ooh, but it is wide. Sweepers trying to push it over. Trying to push it over as much as they can. They don't want to raise any reds in there. Gets the hit on the red instead, but not quite enough. And red will steal another point, tying the game 4-4 after 7 ends. A battle of inches here today at the Triangle Curling Club between Moran and Scheck.
Top of the house, yes.
Looks like they do have time. They are going to play the 8th end. Got through just enough time. There is a bit of buffer that we have between ends, or between matches. They are going to play quickly, but they are going to play an 8th end. Well done by both teams to keep the pace up. This is a tie game. 4-4, Team Scheck with the hammer. That critical advantage going into end number 8. If you're just joining us, you picked a fantastic time to get on the live stream here at the Triangle Curling Club Clubspiel 2025. My name is Zakai Siegel, and I am bringing you commentary from a very exciting match between Team Moran in red and Team Scheck in yellow on sheet A here at the Triangle Curling Club. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in Durham, North Carolina. The club is filled with people. Having a good time, having a bite to eat. Games C and D have finished, but A and B are going down to the wire.
Top of the house is okay. Yes. Up now, up now. Up.
Final rock from Michelle Moran coming in. Wants to get around her own guard and get into the house. Fred Lockyer sweeping hard, digging deep, gets that stone to the house. Yellow still in shot position. Dan Scheck more interested in getting a stone undercover. Wants to get behind both of the reds. Final rock for the yellow lead. Will it get past the guards? It will not. Taking off the first guard, not quite getting on over enough to provide coverage for the shot yellow. But it does expose the red that is in the house. Pat Moran calling for the draw behind the yellow guard. We've seen a lot of precision from Fred Lockinger today. Let's see if he can continue that in these last crucial stones. Stone needs to curl if it's going to get through the port, and it does. Sweepers going hard, want to get this as deep as they can. Not going to take shot position, but Pat Moran sticking with his strategy of trying to control the center front of the house.
Top of the house is okay.
And he is able to do that with this stone. Yellow with the critical hammer advantage in this final end. Dave Mittenson in the hack, looking to make some space in the middle by removing these reds. Taylor Noskoff sweeping hard. Wants to hold this line, gets past the guard, gets the hit. Removes that red, gives yellow control over the center line. And Pat Moran looking to get another stone tucked behind the guards. But he's going to come at it from the left this time. Wants to follow this line around the yellow guards. Looking a little heavy. Going to get the hit instead. Just a tad narrow, rolling around the outside of the guards instead. Will stick around in the back of the house.
Want to be in the house. Yeah, it is.
Oh, shit.
Final rock from Dave Mittenson. Again, looking to do that same draw. Wants to skim the left edge of both of those yellows and tuck in behind them.
Go for this again. I'm voting for the wall.
Here comes the rock. Again, yellow's still sitting, sitting one, but with an exposed stone. Both teams fighting for control of the button instead. It is around the guards, but it's a little heavy. Pat Moran's on the sweep. Gonna carry it out the back of the house. A very nice line, but a little too much weight.
That's a tough takeout. I think you don't want to.
A battle for the button continues. Both teams vying for this beautiful draw to get a protected rock on the button. Carl Biltz in the hack. Can he deliver? Calling the sweep on. They got to get past the guards. Past the one. Past the two. And this one's a little bit light. Not going to get in. The line was there. Just a little bit light. Didn't make it deep into the house. Could potentially race it up later. But yellow still in scoring position, wants the raise on the yellow, angle raise over into a guarded position. Difficult angles for Taylor Noskov. Let's see if he can make it happen. This looks like it's over curling. Gonna hit on the inside instead of the outside. Oh, pardon me, sneaks by everything. But had a little bit too much when you throwing weight, expecting a hit, and then didn't happen. Over curled and missed everything. Now, with a stone on the center line, with the line to the button blocked. Pat Moran looking for the hit. Carl Biltz throwing his final rock of the game, wants to hit this shot yellow. Makes clean contact and will take that yellow off the board. And with that, Team Moran sitting 4 out in the 12-foot. But with a tie game, it doesn't matter how many stones you get. You only need 1 to win this game. There is a port between the red rocks to draw in to guarded position. Last stone from Taylor Noskov. Can he hit that port? And he does. Carl Biltz sweeping hard, wants to get that stone as far from the button as he can. It will be shot. A beautiful draw, hit that very narrow port, but had a little bit too much on it. They wanted that to settle much, much closer to the button. Moran with the option to follow that same line to draw through that port. The advantage here is that they have, if they're a little bit wide or a little bit narrow, they could raise one of their own reds into scoring position. It doesn't need to be much. Anything touching the 12-foot will outcount that back yellow. First stone from skip Pat Moran. End number 8, tie game. Sweepers are on this one. It looks light. It has to get all the way there. Has to get through the port or has to raise that red. Does it have enough? It gets through the port. And it will settle just behind the tee line. A very, very good result from Pat Moran, taking over shot position. The risk here is that that line is still there through the port. And now we have seen multiple curlers able to hit this narrow port. Taylor Noskov was able to hit it. Pat Moran was able to hit it. Can Dan Scheck hit that port and freeze on the shot red rock? A frozen rock would be very, very difficult to remove. Will it get there? Here it comes. Sweeping hard and hitting the red. Not quite getting through.
No, give a better feed on it.
Got past the first one and not the second. Covering that line that both teams have been using. Team Moran sitting 2. One last rock to play. For Team Moran, they are looking to guard this area. They are concerned about the raise on that yellow. Got to do everything they can to make that final rock as difficult as possible for Team Scheck. Here it comes, the final red rock in the last end. And it is very, very nice, going to settle in front of that yellow. And an extremely difficult situation for Dan Scheck, the final rock of the final end. Tie game. Deliberations will continue. Meanwhile, on sheet B, we have skip stones in progress. Very light, though, from Team Mueller. Not able to get into the house. Sweepers were doing their best to carry it in. If yellow, over on sheet B this is, if Costine can get any piece of the house at all, they will be the winners.
Never.
Here it comes. It just needs to settle in the house. Sweepers are staying far away from this one. Will it slow down enough? Will it slow down? There. And it looks like it is. Congratulations to Team Costine, taking a victory over Team Mueller on sheet B. Back on sheet A. The timer has expired. The score is tied. Team Pat Moran has delivered all of their stones. There is only one stone left. The hammer to be delivered by skip Dan Scheck. And they are set. Red sitting 1 and 2 in this tie game. You only need 1 point to win it. They're going to come in on the right side. And potentially try to displace those red rocks. Yellow to red, splitting the reds out and leaving yellow in place. Let's see what happens. All eyes are on this stone. The entire club is watching this one rock down the ice. It gets the hit. Oh, my goodness. An amazing throw. Gets the hit from yellow to red, but the red does not make enough contact to split the two reds out of the house. Handshakes all around. An exciting finale to a very, very tight game between Teams Moran and Team Scheck. Congratulations with the comeback from behind victory for Team Moran. Wonderful curling, wonderful sportsmanship all around. Both teams should be very proud of their efforts today. And with that, we have wrapped up this draw of the 2025 Triangle Club Spiel. There is still plenty more action to come, plenty more games to play. So if you are on the live stream, the next draw starts, I don't know, later today. We have at least 2-3 more draws coming up, and I'll be back to cover the next one for you. All right, come on back and join us, and we'll see you soon.
the rough one? You got 2, right? You got a mop?